From a letter courtesy of the John R. Cash Revocable Trust. Hendersonville, Tennessee, June 12, 92. Billy Ray, I was very impressed recently to hear you give God the credit for your success. It's good to be reminded where all goodness comes from. 36 years ago, I was working with Elvis and saw him take the same kind of flack you're taking now. Congratulations on the way you're handling it all. In your case, as in Elvis's, the good outweighs the bad. Let him have it. I'm in your corner. Johnny Cash. His truth shall be your shield and your buckler. Psalm 91, verse 4. Opportunity often comes disguised in the form of misfortune or temporary defeat. Napoleon Hill. Expect a miracle. Miley Cyrus. This book is dedicated to the dreamers. Prologue. Who knows how this stuff works? Not me. I'll tell you a story. In 1993, I was shooting a video for In the Heart of a Woman, the first single off my second album, It Won't Be the Last. We made the video in the center of the Navajo Nation in the Grand Canyon. I had never seen a natural landscape any more dramatic, beautiful, or spiritual than Canyon de Chelly National Monument. Its towering sandstone walls and ancient dwellings are magical. After the shoot, one of the tribe's elders introduced me to a little boy who had Down syndrome. When I asked if he had an Indian name, he quietly answered no. I noticed a picture of an eagle on his T-shirt and said, "Well, you're Soaring Eagle." Suddenly, the elder bent down, scooped up a handful of dirt, threw it in the air, and said, "Ha, Soaring Eagle." The tribe repeated it, "Soaring Eagle." The boy's face unfolded into a grin of pure joy. It was a beautiful sight, every bit as magical as the land where we stood. Several hours later, I was back on a plane to Nashville and eager to see my soon-to-be wife Tish and our 6-month-old daughter Miley. Even though I was working on my second album, I was still riding the rocket of the Achy Breaky Heart phenomenon, and it was a crazy time for me. I don't think I slept for a year, maybe longer. Indeed, by the time I got home from the video shoot, I'd been up for a couple of days, and I guess I looked like it too. Tish sent me straight to the bathtub and told me to use the soap. Afterward, as I sat in the bedroom reacclimating to being home, I flashed back to that little boy I'd met in the canyon. I wanted to tell Tish about him, the way his smile had come from inside and taken over his entire being, and how fortunate he had made me feel about being a new daddy to a healthy baby girl. Suddenly those emotions turned into words. They filled my head, and I found a pen and piece of paper and wrote them down as fast as they came to me. When they stopped, I had a poem. I titled it Trail of Tears and showed it to Tish. "What do you think?" I asked. "I think I'm going to buy a frame and hang it on the wall," she said. And that's exactly what she did. We later moved, and the poem came down. Almost 3 years went by before I thought about that poem again. It was late 1995, and I was enjoying the early morning on top of the hill by the fire I had built that sits in the shadows of my teepee. It's like a church to me, where I escape and think and get in touch with timeless stories that emanate from the land. It's a surefire place to get perspective on things. I don't remember why I went out there that particular morning, whether anything was bothering me, but I do recall myself thinking about the Indian families and children who had been marched across nearby land in the 1830s, along what became known as the Trail of Tears. The trail ran close to my land. I pictured those uprooted families, daddies and mamas like myself and Tish, and their children, tears in their eyes, fear in their hearts, many of them barefoot, marching through mud and snow. And that's when I remembered my poem about that little boy, Soaring Eagle. The words came right back to me, only this time I heard them with a bluegrass melody reminiscent of the old Earl Scruggs and Bill Monroe records that had provided the soundtrack to my early childhood. Up there, all by myself, I put words to music and sang that song for the first time ever. I had a show that night in Canada. On the plane, I noticed guitarist Don Von Tress, who had written Achy Breaky Heart, had brought a mandolin. I'd never played mandolin before, let alone a right-handed one, but I picked up Don's beautiful little instrument, turned it around for my left-handedness, strummed once or twice, and said to the guys in my band, "Listen to what I wrote today." Too many broken promises, too many trail of tears, too many times you were left cold for oh so many years. Too many times you walked away and was made to feel ashamed, and though you only tried to give, you were often blamed.